This is gonna be a hard one.
You asked me to figure out where this video was recorded, so I did. Hi, I'm Jose Monkey, and I find people who ask to be found. Guys, I was really excited to do this one, and I actually planned to do it earlier this week. But right when I was getting ready to record the video, I realized that the original video was no longer available on TikTok. Now, I had a copy of the video downloaded, but I like to post my videos as a video reply so that people can go back and watch the original video more easily. Also, whenever that happens and someone deletes the video, it makes me worry that they don't want me to do it anymore. So I took a shot and commented on one of the person's other videos and asked them if they would like me to still do the video. And they said yes, so here we are. But guys, keep in mind that sometimes it takes me a little while to get around to doing each video. So try not to get impatient and delete the videos, because then I might not find it when I go looking for it. So what can we see? Not very much, honestly. This video is not the best quality, and the frame rate seems kind of low. And the brightness level keeps changing in the video because it was recorded on kind of a dreary day. Anyway, the first thing I noticed was this person's way of speaking.
All right, monkey. This is gonna be a hard one.
Now, I usually say that I'm not great at recognizing accents, but I might be getting a little bit better at it. I thought this person sounded like maybe they were from Mississippi, Alabama, or Louisiana, like that area, but definitely the South. I happened to see this video right when the person tagged me, and I noticed that it was lightly raining in the video. So I quick pulled up some weather maps to see where it was raining in the United States that day. And it looked like there was some rain happening down near the Gulf of Mexico, so I thought maybe I was onto something. Okay, so the only things we can really see in this video are this billboard here, though we can see the back of it, so it's not that helpful. This water tower, which has a very difficult to make out logo on it. A highway. And then as the person turns the camera, we see this fairly nondescript building here. I did make a note of this one area of the building where it's kind of rusted. Without much to go on, I figured that maybe that water tower was going to be the best way to find this. And I tried really hard to make out what that logo was and what it said. But it wasn't one that I was familiar with, and I was having a lot of trouble with it. I tried doing a Google Lens search on the logo to see if I could get a match, but I wasn't finding anything that looked right. I was getting the sense that the graphic was either a drop of water or maybe like a stylized flame of some kind. That told me that it was probably for a utility company. So I started looking at the names of various different utility companies in some of those states that I mentioned in the South. But honestly, I didn't get very far with that either. I spent like an hour trying to figure out what that logo was and what company it was, but I really didn't make much progress. So I took a break from this one. When I finally came back to it, I figured I would take a different approach. I knew that I could search for water towers in the OpenStreetMap database, but there would be way too many for me to search for all the water towers in a broad area of the US. If I had some way to correlate water tower locations with billboard locations, that might have been a good bet, but as far as I know, there's no way to search for billboards in the OpenStreetMap database. By the way, if I'm wrong about that, please let me know. Really, all I could come up with from the video is that there's also a highway here. I wondered if I could use that somehow. The highway looked kind of big, and I thought maybe it was an interstate. So I wondered if maybe I could search for water towers that were in close proximity to interstate highways. So I constructed a query to look for all water towers that were within 500 meters of interstates. That's about 3/10 of a mile. I figured I would scope my search to those states that I mentioned, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama. But then I got nervous that I was wrong about the accent, so I just broadened my search to pretty much the entire southeastern United States. And guys, I got 135 water towers. Okay, before I started looking at them, I tried to think about whether or not there was a way I could narrow it down further. So I went off on a bit of a side quest to try and learn as much as I could about different types of water towers. I never really gave it much thought, but there are different kinds of water towers. There are spheroid towers, what are sometimes called pedospheres. There are standpipes. There are multi-leg or multi-column towers. There's also something called a fluted column or fluted pillar, which is what I think we see in the video. So I learned a whole bunch of stuff, but I didn't actually figure out any way to use that to narrow my search. So I guess just file that under random information that I've learned while doing these videos. It wasn't completely useless though, because it was helpful to keep in mind which type of tower I was looking for. So when I went to look at each one, I could just immediately rule out the ones that were the wrong type. So guys, that's what I did. The good news here is that Google Earth has incredibly detailed 3D models of many places in the United States. So I was able to get a really good look at many of these towers without even looking at the Google Street View. So I started looking through them, and actually it didn't even take as long as I expected, because I could really just spend a couple of seconds on each tower and figure out right away whether or not I could rule it out. And I looked at the first 95 towers on the list. But I stopped there, because number 95, that was it. You were standing here, near the Tesco Technical Services building, off of I-65 in Creola, Alabama. So remember how I was saying that Google Earth has these incredibly detailed 3D renders? Not for this place. This tower appears as just a flat satellite image, unfortunately. But even so, I knew that it was the right spot right away. You can tell it's the right type of tower, and you could sort of make out that it has writing on the side that looked like it might be similar. And when I looked around a bit, I could tell that the layout relative to the highway looked right, and I also saw this building over here that has a billboard next to it, which looked pretty promising. So I went to the Google Street View, and sure enough, that was the right one. The logo we can see on the tower is for Integra Water. And it even said the city name on the tower. If I'd actually been able to see that in the video, this would have been a very quick one. Anyway, I also verified the building that we see in the video, including that rusty spot that we see. You were standing right over here when you recorded the video. Okay, it's time to check which previous location was closest to this one. And in this case, we have to go all the way back to lightning round 3 for a location in Mobile, Alabama. That's about 23 miles or 37 kilometers away from this spot. That's all for now, guys. If anybody else wants me to find them, record a video where you say, "Find me, Jose Monkey," or something like that on camera, or hold up a sign that says something similar. And don't forget to tag me in a comment on that video.